Hello, traders. Cousin Benny coming to you from theclosingprint.com, Sunday, the 31st of August, 2025. In this edition of your weekend video newsletter, we'll discuss the indices near all-time highs, closing flat for the week across the board. Last week, we had some strength in energy, financials, with most sectors holding up fairly well, leaving us with 8 bullish indicators, 8 neutral, and 4 bearish. We'll look for a follow-through this week as we start the new month into September OPEX. The New York FANG index closed the week strong as well, flat but just below all-time highs. 921.50, 200-day all rising, while RSI and MACD do show some weakening in the current trend. Stochastics is rising. As long as we stay above the 921.50 day, we'll be looking for a follow-through. If for some reason we drop down and start to test the 50-day, then we'll reassess the markets during the week. S&P 500 also closed just below the all-time high that we set on Thursday. RSI is above 50. MACD is flat. Stochastics is embedded, so there's a possibility that we follow through as the 921.50 and 200-day are all pushing up and to the right. The New York Stock Exchange, 2,000 stocks on the composite, a broad measure of market participation, closed at highs, not showing any sign of testing the 9 or the 21 day. If for some reason this week we start to push down through these moving averages, then we would reassess the markets into this first trading week of September. Breadth on the S&P 500, as you can see, is above the zero line, turned up by the end of the week, looking for a signal from this indicator along with the small caps, mid caps, and the NASDAQ, all of which pulled back into Friday's close. Barring any sharp changes in the volatility index, we'll look for follow-through to start and reassess if the markets start to test the 9 or the 21 day on the major indices. In order to think the markets are going to pull back, we need to see a few indicators move lower, junk bonds being one of those, along with high yield corporate. Both of these look okay for now. Looks like they'll, at a minimum, test the 9 EMA this week. So keep an eye on junk bonds and high yield corporate, in addition to the 10-year yield, which remains below the 50 and 200-day moving averages. Note the 50-day, the green line, continues to drop, and prices are near the lows of the range for the last 8 weeks. Lower yields, of course, would be good for small caps, so keep an eye on both as we start September trading. Gold and silver both showed strength last week. Keep an eye on the precious metals. The IBD 50 is populated with some very strong gold miners. As such, we'll cover those in a few minutes. You also want to keep an eye on the Deutsche Bank Commodities Tracking ETF. As this continues, we're looking for price action to stay in this range that we've seen for the last few years. This will be bullish for equities so long as commodities stay in a range and don't start to shoot higher as they did back in 2022, leading to a bear market to start the year. Aside from the precious metals and commodities, keep an eye on Brent crude and West Texas. As long as they stay range bound, this is good for the consumer and therefore good for the economy in the short term. As we look for Brent and West Texas crude to continue in this descending channel that started back in 2023. Overall, bonds, currencies, and commodities are neutral to bullish for equities going into this first week of September. Sectors held up fairly well last week, with the exception of semiconductors, tech, and some weakness in retail and consumer discretionary. We saw strength in healthcare, financials, and energy. So if you're looking for trades this week, check out those three sectors, as most likely we'll see some follow through, in addition to perhaps a pickup in the sectors that close flat for the week. Energy, financials, and healthcare are showing the most strength. Gold, mining, and precious metals stocks trending over the last few weeks. In addition to the strength that we saw in financials and credit card companies, American Express breaking out to new highs, along with other stocks from the group like Synchrony Financial, MasterCard, and Visa, along with the money center banks, Bank of America, Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, and Wells Fargo. Look for healthcare stocks to continue as well, as they show strength, along with the exceptional strength we've seen in energy stocks to date, breaking higher, small cap, mid caps, and large cap alike. Small cap, APA, Apache, following through, Helmerich and Payne, oil and equipment services, breaking higher, along with Baker Hughes, and the larger companies like ExxonMobil, ConocoPhillips, and Chevron showing exceptional strength. Okay, traders, that's going to do it for me. This is Because of Any coming to you from theclosingprint.com on Labor Day weekend, Sunday, the 31st of August, 2025. I'll send out a watch list later tonight or tomorrow highlighting stocks that we're looking for a follow-through into the first week of September. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Take care, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Take care. Ciao.